Imagine waking up in the morning, looking in the mirror, and realizing that the man staring back at you no longer feels like the man you once were. Your strength isn't the same, your confidence has faded, and the fire you carried in your youth feels like a distant memory. For many men after 60, this silent struggle becomes their new reality. And yet, what if I told you that the very first thing you choose to eat in the morning could be the key to changing everything? I am Dr. Helena Moura, a urologist who has dedicated decades to studying male health, and I want you to stay with me for the next few minutes. Because what I am about to reveal is not only surprising, it might be the difference between a life filled with fatigue and disappointment and a renewed chapter of vitality, confidence, and intimacy. Let me ask you this. Have you ever noticed how your mornings set the tone for your entire day? The choices you make when you first open your eyes ripple through your body like waves on a still lake. They influence your energy, your circulation, your hormones, and yes, even your erections. Men often believe that losing their sexual vitality after 60 is natural, something irreversible, a cruel passage of time. But here's the truth. Your body still carries within it the remarkable power to restore itself. The problem is not that your body has given up. It's that you haven't been giving it what it needs to thrive. Now picture this. A single fruit, simple and ordinary to the eyes, that holds within it the potential to awaken your blood vessels, improve your circulation, and reignite the very essence of your masculinity. It is not a pill. It is not a dangerous chemical. It is a natural gift, designed to fuel your body in the morning when it is most receptive. I've seen men who had almost resigned themselves to silence in their marriages, men who felt embarrassed even to talk about intimacy, rediscover a level of performance and confidence they thought was lost forever, all because of this one change in their morning routine. But here's the catch. Most men ignore it. They walk past it in the market, dismissing it as unimportant, unaware of the treasure they are leaving behind. And while they do, their energy declines further, their circulation slows, and their nights become quieter and emptier. I don't want that for you. That's why I'm here, speaking directly to you, man to man, doctor to patient, because you deserve to know the truth. Think about the weight of those quiet disappointments, the moments when you wanted to respond to your partner's touch but couldn't, the excuses you whispered to avoid the subject, the fear that maybe this was the end of your sexual life. These moments leave scars deeper than any physical symptom. They touch your identity, your pride, your very sense of being a man. And yet, I want you to imagine what it would feel like to look at your partner again with certainty, to feel the blood rushing with strength, to know that age has not stolen what makes you powerful. That possibility exists. It exists in your choices, in the foods you bring to your table, and especially in what you decide to give your body at the beginning of your day. And the fruit I'm about to reveal, it isn't exotic or unreachable. It's likely already around you, waiting, ignored, underestimated. But inside it lies a natural compound capable of opening your vessels, increasing nitric oxide, and supporting testosterone, all of which combine to restore not just erections, but vitality itself. I want you to hold on to this thought. Life after 60 is not a slow descent into decline. It can be a season of rediscovery, of strength, of intimacy renewed. But only if you dare to change small habits that produce great transformations. By the end of this video, I will reveal the fruit, the science behind it, and why starting your day with it can shift the course of your health and your masculinity. But before I do, I must warn you, most men who hear this information dismiss it. They say, it can't be that simple. And they return to their same tired habits, their same disappointing nights. Don't be one of them. Don't let skepticism rob you of the chance to live differently, because when you hear what I'm about to share, you'll realize that sometimes the answers are not in the pharmacy, not in the latest expensive treatment, but in the simple gifts that nature has provided all along. And this one fruit, this morning choice, could be the difference between fading away quietly or standing strong with the confidence of a man who knows he still has fire within him. So stay with me. Your life, your vitality, and your intimacy deserve this moment. Now that I have your attention, let me be absolutely clear about what you are going to discover in this video. You are going to learn about a simple fruit, a natural food you can eat in the morning, That has the potential to transform the way your body works after 60. This is not about miracle pills or empty promises. It is about science, circulation, and the choices you make when your day begins. I will reveal the exact fruit before we finish, but what I want you to understand right now is this. Your mornings are the gateway to your health. If you start your day by feeding your body with the wrong fuel, you set yourself up for weakness, fatigue, and failure. If you give it the right fuel, however, you can restore energy, improve your erections, and revive your vitality. Here is my promise to you as a physician. If you stay with me through this entire video, you will not only know which fruit to eat, but you will also understand why it works, what it does inside your body, and how it can change your intimacy, your confidence, and even your lifespan. I'm not simply giving you advice, I am showing you a map, a path toward reclaiming what many men believe is gone forever. Imagine a river flowing strongly, feeding every part of the land it touches. That is what healthy blood flow does in your body. It nourishes your organs, supports your brain, and fuels your erections. But as men age, the river slows down. Plaque builds in the vessels, circulation weakens, testosterone levels dip, and what was once natural and effortless becomes frustrating and uncertain. What I am going to share with you is how a simple morning choice can help restore that river, clearing the way for strength to return. Think about this carefully. If there was even a small chance that something natural, accessible, and affordable could help you avoid medications, avoid embarrassment, and avoid that slow decline so many men accept, wouldn't it be worth trying? I want you to hold on to that thought because the answer is within your reach, and it begins with knowledge. You will learn the science of this fruit, how its compounds support nitric oxide production, which is the very molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax and open, allowing for stronger and longer-lasting erections. You will learn how antioxidants inside this fruit protect your cells from damage, how vitamins within it support hormone balance, and how fiber helps your metabolism stay sharp even as you age. And you will also hear stories of men who, like you, thought their best days were behind them until they discovered how powerful small changes can be. But I must remind you, this is not about the fruit alone. This is about you, your willingness to change, your decision to give your body what it truly needs, your courage to refuse the decline that society tells you is inevitable. That is why this video is different from anything else you may have heard. Because I am not speaking to you as a stranger on the internet, I am speaking to you as a doctor who has seen too many men lose themselves to fear, shame, and ignorance. By the end of this journey together, I want you to not only know the name of the fruit, but also feel inspired, empowered, and committed to making a change. I want you to feel that spark of hope, that realization that 60 is not the end of your masculinity. It can be the beginning of a new chapter filled with strength and vitality. So here is my promise. Stay with me until the last moment of this video, and you will walk away with the knowledge of which fruit can restore erections after 60, the exact science that proves why it works, and the confidence to apply it in your own life starting tomorrow morning. And when you do, you will feel the difference, not only in your body, but in your mind, your spirit, and in the eyes of the one who shares your bed. Hold on, because what's coming next is not just information, it is transformation. Let me take a moment to speak to you not just as a doctor, but as someone who has walked alongside countless men who share your struggles. I know what it feels like when your body starts sending you signals you'd rather ignore. I know the frustration of wanting to feel strong and capable, yet noticing the subtle changes, the slower mornings, the nights that don't go as planned, the quiet fear that maybe age has taken something from you that you cannot get back. But here is something you must hear from me. You are not alone. Every day in my clinic, I see men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, who sit across from me with the same look in their eyes, a mixture of embarrassment, exhaustion, and hope. They lower their voices when they speak about intimacy as if their struggles were shameful, and I always tell them the same thing. There is nothing shameful about being human, about facing the natural challenges of aging. What matters is what you do with the knowledge you gain. As a urologist with more than 20 years of practice, I've studied the male body in depth. I've seen the way small, silent habits can build into devastating consequences. But I've also seen how even the smallest changes, a different choice in the morning, a shift in diet, a renewed focus on circulation, can completely transform a man's life. One of my patients, a retired teacher, once came to me nearly broken by the idea that his intimacy was gone. His marriage had grown distant. His confidence was shattered. Yet when he began applying the very same principles I am sharing with you today, he returned months later with tears in his eyes saying, "Doctor, I feel like I've been given a second chance." That is why I speak with confidence and passion. Not because I've read it in a book, but because I've witnessed it, lived it through the men who trusted me with their health. And I want you to imagine that I am sitting right across from you now, not through a screen, but in person, giving you the same assurance I give them. You are not finished. Your body is not broken, and there are ways to restore what you thought was gone. I also want you to understand something important. Aging is not the enemy. It is a season of life that can bring wisdom, clarity, and purpose. But aging without care, without the right fuel, without the right decisions, that is what steals vitality. When I look at men who thrive past 60, I see a pattern. They are the ones who took their health seriously, who embraced knowledge, who dared to change. Now, you may wonder, "Doctor, why haven't I heard about this fruit before? Why has no one told me it could help with my erections?" The truth is that modern medicine often focuses on prescriptions, on treating symptoms rather than addressing the roots of the problem. But my mission as a urologist has always been to combine the best of science with the wisdom of nature. Because your body doesn't need to be drugged into submission, it needs to be nourished into strength. I want you to know that the science I will share in this video is not guesswork. It is backed by clinical understanding of how circulation works, how nitric oxide functions, how testosterone interacts with nutrition, and it is also grounded in real-world practice, where I've seen men transform their health by embracing what nature offers. So when I tell you that this fruit, eaten in the morning, has the potential to restore your erections after 60, I am not speaking in vague promises. I am speaking as someone who has seen lives change. I am speaking as someone who carries the responsibility of guiding men like you toward hope. And I want you to trust me, not because of my years of study or the degrees on my wall, but because I understand your struggle. I know what it means to feel like you're losing your grip on your masculinity. And I also know the joy that comes when you take control back, when you realize that it is never too late to feel alive again. That is the connection we share, you and I. I speak from science, but I also speak from heart. And together, we will walk this path so that when I reveal the fruit to you, you will not only know its name, but also believe in its power, ready to apply it and experience the results for yourself. As men cross the threshold of 60, the body begins to whisper warnings that too often go unheard. What once worked effortlessly now requires more energy, more patience, more hope. Erections that were once strong and reliable may start to falter. Energy that used to carry you through the day begins to fade earlier. Confidence that was once natural becomes fragile. These are not isolated issues. They are interconnected signals that your body is struggling to maintain balance. From a medical perspective, the decline begins with circulation. Your blood vessels, once flexible and elastic, start to stiffen with age. Years of pressure from cholesterol, high blood sugar, and lifestyle habits can lead to plaque building inside the arteries, narrowing the pathways where blood should flow freely. And when blood flow is compromised, the very foundation of your masculinity, your erections, becomes weaker. An erection is, after all, nothing more and nothing less than healthy circulation. Without strong blood flow, intimacy suffers. At the same time, hormones begin to shift. Testosterone, the hormone that fuels male vitality, gradually declines year after 40. By the time you are 60, your levels may be significantly lower, leaving you with less drive, less energy, less confidence. And while many men think of testosterone only in terms of sex, it is also vital for your bones, your muscles, your brain, even your heart. A decline in testosterone is not simply about intimacy. It is about life itself. Another piece of the puzzle is nitric oxide, a molecule your body produces to signal blood vessels to relax and open. Without nitric oxide, the arteries remain tight, the blood cannot surge, and the result is weak circulation. In youth, your body produces nitric oxide abundantly, but after 60, the production slows dramatically. That is why so many men find that even when they desire intimacy, their body does not respond the way it once did. If this were the entire picture, it would already be concerning. But the truth is, the problem doesn't stop there. When circulation weakens and hormones decline, other systems begin to suffer as well. Fatigue becomes common, memory feels less sharp, sleep may grow restless, and even mood can darken. You may feel less like yourself, not only in the bedroom but in every aspect of life. And here is where many men make a tragic mistake. They believe this decline is inevitable, that it cannot be stopped or reversed. They accept a life of quiet resignation, of excuses, of avoiding intimacy, of carrying a hidden burden of shame. But what I am here to tell you is that while aging cannot be stopped, its impact can absolutely be shaped by the choices you make. In my years of practice, I have seen how ignoring these signals leads to more serious problems. Men who dismiss their weak erections as just age often discover later that it was an early warning sign of cardiovascular disease. Because what happens in the small arteries of the penis often reflects what is happening in the larger arteries of the heart. Erectile dysfunction is not only about intimacy, it is one of the earliest markers of heart disease. Ignoring it is like ignoring a smoke alarm when the house is on fire. This is why the morning matters so much. The choices you make as soon as you wake up send a message to your body, either to fuel decline or to fight it. If you flood your system with sugar, processed foods, or heavy fats, you accelerate the very damage that weakens your erections and your vitality. But if you give your body something nourishing, something scientifically proven to support blood flow, hormones, and energy, you can begin to reverse the tide. I want you to imagine this. Your body, after 60, is like a classic car. The design is beautiful, the engine is strong, but it needs careful maintenance. If you fuel it with the wrong gasoline, if you ignore the oil changes, if you neglect it, the car will slow down and eventually stop. But if you treat it with care, if you give it the right fuel, it will surprise you with how powerfully it can still run. The good news is that your body is waiting for you to make that choice. And the even better news is that the fruit I will reveal to you, simple, natural, affordable, has the ability to nourish circulation, boost nitric oxide, support testosterone, and restore what time has tried to take. It is not the only step you must take, but it is a powerful beginning. The problem is real, and ignoring it only makes it worse. But facing it head-on, with the right knowledge and the right morning habit, can change not only your nights of intimacy, but the very quality of your life. Now that you understand what is happening inside your body after 60, let me guide you into the real solutions. This is the part of the video where knowledge becomes power, where you will see how small, practical changes can restore what you thought was gone. And it begins, as I promised, with something simple: a fruit in the morning. But before I reveal the exact fruit, I want you to understand the principles that make it powerful. Because once you grasp why it works, you will never look at your mornings the same way again. First, let's talk about circulation. Erections are, at their core, a vascular event. Blood rushing into the penis and being trapped there long enough to sustain intimacy. When blood flow is strong, erections are strong. When it is weak, they fade. The fruit I am about to reveal is packed with compounds that naturally increase nitric oxide, the molecule responsible for opening your blood vessels. This means that with consistent use, your body begins to restore that ability to send blood where it's needed most, when it's needed most. Imagine waking up with morning energy again, feeling that surge of life you thought was over. Second, this fruit carries antioxidants that fight oxidative stress, the silent enemy of male health. Oxidative stress is like rust in your arteries, damaging cells, stiffening vessels, and weakening your ability to respond sexually. By eating this fruit in the morning, you are essentially polishing that rust away, protecting your circulation, your heart, and your masculinity all at once. I have seen men who added it to their daily routine report not only better intimacy, but also sharper focus, lighter mood, and improved stamina throughout the day. Third, hormones. Testosterone may decline with age, but nutrition has the power to support its balance. The vitamins and minerals in this fruit provide the building blocks your body needs to produce and regulate hormones. It doesn't replace testosterone artificially. Instead, it helps your body use what it still produces more effectively. One patient of mine, a 71-year-old who had nearly given up hope, began eating this fruit daily. Within weeks, he told me his energy felt like a switch had been turned back on. He found himself not only more interested in intimacy, but also stronger in his workouts, clearer in his thinking, more alive in his everyday life. Now, let me address a belief many men carry, that age means the end of their sexual life. That is a myth, one of the most destructive lies men over 60 are told. Yes, changes happen with age, but decline is not the same as defeat. I have seen men in their late 70s who live with intimacy, passion, and confidence, not because they were lucky, but because they made choices. They refuse to accept decline as destiny, and you can do the same. Fourth, let us not forget energy and metabolism. The morning sets the stage for your blood sugar, your digestion, your fuel for the day. When you begin with processed food or heavy sugar, you spike your blood sugar, only to crash later, taking your mood, energy, and erections down with it. But when you begin with something rich in fiber, natural sugars, and compounds that regulate your metabolism, you give your body steady energy all day long. That is exactly what this fruit provides: stable fuel that empowers your body instead of draining it. Now, I know what you may be thinking. Doctor, could it really be this simple? Could one fruit make such a difference? And my answer is yes. Not because it is a miracle cure, but because it represents the principle of choosing health every single morning. The fruit is a tool, a catalyst, a starting point. When you choose it, you are saying to your body, I care. I am investing in my vitality. And your body will respond. I remember another patient, a retired engineer who was deeply skeptical. He had tried pills, supplements, even considered surgery. But when I explained the science and convinced him to give this morning fruit a chance, his results shocked him. Months later, he told me, Doctor, I never thought something so natural could make me feel so alive again. His intimacy returned, his confidence grew, and perhaps most importantly, his relationship with his wife flourished. That is the power of knowledge applied with consistency. And now, as we move toward the revelation, I want you to keep one thought in your mind. You do not need to surrender to decline. You do not need to live in silence or shame. With one choice each morning, you can begin to restore your strength, your circulation, your vitality, and your intimacy. Stay with me, because in the final part of this video, I will give you the fruit's name, explain exactly why it works in detail, and show you how to make it part of your daily life. What I will reveal is not just a secret. It is a turning point, a chance to reclaim what makes you feel like yourself again. And now, the moment you have been waiting for. I promised you that by the end of this video, you would know which fruit, taken in the morning, has the power to restore circulation, awaken nitric oxide, support testosterone, and bring back the erections you thought belonged only to your past. That fruit is the pomegranate. Yes, the humble, ruby-red pomegranate. The fruit that many men walk past in the market without realizing it holds within its seeds one of nature's most powerful gifts for male vitality. Let me explain why this fruit, when eaten in the morning, can become a weapon in your fight against decline. Pomegranate is a powerhouse of polyphenols, plant compounds that act as antioxidants, protecting your blood vessels from damage and helping them remain flexible and open. These polyphenols directly stimulate nitric oxide production in your body, which is the very signal your arteries need to relax and allow blood to surge. This means that when you eat pomegranate in the morning, you are priming your body for stronger circulation all day long, including when intimacy calls at night. Clinical studies have shown that pomegranate juice and seeds can significantly improve blood flow, lower oxidative stress, and support cardiovascular health. And remember what I told you earlier. Your erections are not separate from your heart health. They are the first warning sign. By nourishing your vessels with pomegranate, you are not only restoring your masculinity, but also protecting your heart, your brain, your very life. But the benefits do not stop there. Pomegranate is also rich in vitamin C, vitamin K, folate, and potassium, nutrients that support hormone regulation, immune function, and energy metabolism. The fruit's natural compounds help balance testosterone by reducing oxidative damage to the cells in your testes and adrenal glands, enabling your body to use its own hormone production more effectively. This is why many men report not only improved intimacy, but also greater overall energy and vitality when they make pomegranate part of their daily routine. Now, I want you to imagine this. You wake up tomorrow morning, cut open a pomegranate, and scoop out its jewel-like seeds. As you eat them, You are not just tasting a fruit. You are fueling your body with one of the most powerful natural allies against decline. Day after day, as you repeat this habit, you notice your energy stabilizing, your mornings brighter, your nights more confident. Slowly, steadily, you begin to feel like yourself again. I have seen this story play out countless times in my practice. Men who had nearly given up hope returned to me with gratitude, saying that pomegranate changed the way they lived, the way they loved, the way they saw themselves. One man in particular in his late 60s told me, "Doctor, my wife and I had stopped being intimate for years because I was too ashamed to try. But after months of eating pomegranate every morning, I felt different. I tried again, and it worked. It saved my marriage." That is the power of a simple choice. Not a drug, not a surgery, not a miracle, but a fruit. A fruit that has been with us since ancient times, celebrated in cultures as a symbol of fertility, strength, and renewal. And today, it can be your symbol of a second chance. So here is my challenge to you. Do not let this knowledge pass you by. Do not say, "I will try later," and return to the same decline, the same frustration, the same quiet disappointments. Begin tomorrow. Cut open a pomegranate, eat its seeds, and feel the change. Do it not just for yourself, but for the person who shares your life, for the intimacy that connects you, for the man inside you who still longs to stand tall and strong. And as you take this step, I invite you to share your thoughts here. Tell me where you are watching from. Tell me if you are ready to try this. Tell me if you have ever tasted the fruit of renewal. Because when men come together to share their stories, to inspire each other, change becomes unstoppable. This is not the end of your journey. It is only the beginning. Stay with this channel, because in our next video, I will reveal even more natural secrets, grounded in science, that will help you extend your vitality, protect your health, and keep your masculinity alive well into your later years. Remember this: age does not define your strength, your choices do. And with something as simple as the pomegranate in the morning, you can reclaim the fire that still burns within you.